Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN. Today, we have the final zone. I believe that we are on day 3 or going into day 3 because final zone opened on the 14th here for the G2 KvK pool in War of the Last Snows KvK season. So we had the 14th, 15th, 16th. So I guess we're day 2 probably. We're getting close to day 3 essentially. So we're going to go through and show you which KvKs are still going on, which ones are already over, about 3 days in, and then share with me your thoughts or lack thereof at the bottom below the video. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because that was a lot. Thanks. All right, so we're in 7009. Now this matchup is TFSGD, WAO, VP22 versus, what do I have here? Sura, WP, S2AK, and Rage. Now, this KvK was pretty much over. We talked about this when we did the final Zone 3 conclusion update a couple days ago. It ended in Zone 3, right? And you can see here from Final Zone, we have, again, the Rage team here already has control. Nothing is really happening outside of some action here on the Zone 3 in Doolin, where Rage and Korra are invading from the west and pushing some of this WAO and VP22 territory. But again, no contention that's happening in the FZ at the moment. Let me know what you think on that one. But again, right about 3 days into that, into the final zone currently. Now we get into 7010. This is, we have here Echo, SVR, BTX, HOU, or sorry, Echo, SVR, and then we have MFD, VWL are a team. Then we have BTX, HOUW, EX, and BNR are the other team. Final zone is basically done, right? This KvK, the number 2 KvK, was concluded as well in zone 3. Echo, SVR, MFD, and VWL have control of the final zone. There's really no action that's going on in any of the zone 3s, at least from what I was able to see when we initially did a scan a little bit earlier, and then right now, right? We're not really seeing anything that's happening at the moment, but again, maybe that will change. Then we get to 7011. Here, we have EIS, SHPZ, FAA2G as a team, and then we have 30NA, Ash, O5DK, and Squiggly Eyes as another team. Here in the final zone, it is basically EIS, SHPZ, FAA2G that have control. You do have in Ravona, where the team that has control of the FZ is invading from the final zone going east over here into the Ash and 30 NA territory. You can see that here from the blue coming out of the level 5 pass. But really for all intents, and then again, you got a little bit of OO and O5 DK here on the west, sat on the southern or southwestern level 5 pass going from Doolin into Rozon or to the final zone or zone 4. But outside of that, there's really nothing. It's kind of over, it feels like, at least final zone-wise, as always, right, unless something happens. Then we get to 7012. We are going to be looking at GG, MBH, ROV, and AC. That's one team. Second team is LC, 25IW, SEAL, and IWV. Here, we have Lion, SEAL, 25IW, and IWG that pretty much have control of final zone here in Rosen. You do have some action that is happening. And again, that's west and east that they took advantage from. You do have some north and south stuff, but again, nothing's really happening there. I mean, again, you have a little bit, right, of ROG, AC that have built up to the southern chokes here at the passes, or just, excuse me, ramps, but really haven't pushed out, right? They pretty much have control. However, if you look north in Morbrez, you do have Seal invading from Doolin, which again, it looked like there was some action happening here earlier, so maybe they're just doing some minor back and forth. But then you have Lion and 25 that are invading from the final zone through the level 5 passes on the eastern level 5 pass going into Morbrez, has a little bit more action happening on it. And maybe they're just trying to get to the Hydra, I would imagine. So again, but they have been pushing out a little bit, right? But for the most part, final zone seems to be pretty much set with them having control/dragon. In this case, obviously not a full territory control, but again, control of dragon, at least there from what we could see. Then we get to 7013. Here in this KvK, we end up having the matchup of RFF KvK, and it sounds great to say it that way. RP25IW, that is one team. And then on the other side, we have 14BS, NF57, SG97, and EVG. Here, RFF KvK RP25 have control. You do have 57 and 14BS do have the Eastern control here in the purple. Western, they've pretty much have pushed them back to the passes, right? That's kind of where we stand right now. So some action, even if it is light on and off on the Eastern side of Zone 4, the FZ, but Dragon Control at least goes to their team at the moment. Let's go over to 7014. Here in this KvK, matchups for this group are as follows. We have BEK NTS with 1UP and MM. That's one team. Other team is NWE, HTF, and then with ROD and UHA. Here in this one, we have BEK NTS, 1UP and MM that have control of the Dragon. And for the most part, final zone. Their opponents are going to be going west and east. You can see here UH has some territory. We have MN with a little bit. And then if we go work our way east, they basically have control of the passes, right? So again, you can argue final zone is pretty much set at this point. But as always, right, unless something happens. Then we got a couple more groups here left. In 7015, matchup here is going to be RAC Nom-Noms, GPX OMG, and then on the other side we have BXS, DND, KOV, and LPG. Now, RAC, Nom-Nom, GPX, and OMG have control. Dragon has not been captured yet, as you can see. And so the winners here are going to be West and East, other opponents, or at least the controlling team is, and the non-controlling team is North and South. But again, no action is really happening in either of those. You can see here as well that the OMG team, they've kind of pushed out. And then if you look even here going north, they've been pushing out as well, going up top, right? RAC going through one, and then Nom-Nom's going through the western or northwestern pass there. Let's go over to 7016. We got 3 groups left to look at. How am I doing on time? Fantastic. Oh my God. I'm going to world record this right now. Usually I'm doing like 20 to 30 minutes. This one's going to be about 10 or so. Okay, then we get to 7016. So we'll start with the final zone here in Rosen. We have matchup is DBB, K211, Myth, and Law as one team. Other team is -FU, WGL, NXW, and AVIC that we have. Someone was kind enough to shoot me an update on that, but it was also my typo. So, because I had them as something else, and I went back to look at my initial sheet that I did when I put the groups together, and I realized that I typoed it on my SOS coverage overview sheet. So yes, as always, right? If there's something there, anyone is more than welcome to let me know. Final zone, however, is in control of -FU, WGL, NXW, and AVIC. Then we have, again, so those teams are going west and east. North and south are their opponents. However, they have control. You can see here, and same thing, north, there is some action more brass. So you can see here, as an example, AVIC and NXW are pushing out. And then I believe pushing out over here on this side with WGL or WG that's going out too as well. So yeah, maybe trying to go for some behemoths or just pushing out a little bit, but you can see some slight action that's happening. Nothing too massive. Then we go to 7017 here. For this one, we have EDRSYN with KIN IA versus FGKOD, POTC, and BB. That's the second team. At the moment, EDRSYN, KIN, and IA have control of Dragon, and for the most part, right, the FZ-ish, even though not to say it's majority control by any necessary means. I mean, I guess you could argue that if you want to go off percentages and how it looks just from a eye test. However, we have FG and KOD that are controlling the East, which is the other team. You can see they're here in red, kind of pushing up to the choke points here and the mountain pass, or I should say ravine, if you will. And then there's also some action down here going through another one of the mountain chokes on the southeastern side of the final zone. And then if we go west, POTC BB do have light control of the west. You have seen that RIA has been able to push up, get control of the pass. Now they're kind of coming up and sweeping through some of the territory here because there potentially is just a stalemate here on this western ramp. So again, that's how it looks, but they do clearly have Dragon control at the moment. All right, let's look at the last zone or last KvK group that we have here, which is 7018. Matchup for this one as we work our way to the final zone. We got TC Block RKDP. That's one team. Other team is Laws 3-3, AXT, and SOS. Now, here in the final zone, it is Laws 3-3, AXT, and SOS. They have control. They are on the west and east side. Their opponents north and south. You can see here, however, AX is pushed in. Again, Laws has the control there because I think they had pushed in over here from the east, over from Ravona. We go north. They have pass control. You can't see that TC EOD. I think this is block 2 as well. They pushed a little bit, but it's only a tiny bit, right, coming from the north. So pretty much that wraps up, right, what we got here for these, 10 KV9, 10 KvK groups, right? Because we were 7,009, we went to 18. So that's 9, what is that, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, wow, so it is 10. Look at that, man, I can count. So we got 10 KvK groups. These are for the A, B seeded groups, right? So the strongest groups within the G2, which is the largest KvK kingdom pool here for the most recent KvK season of War of the Last Snows. And we conclude at pretty much, oh, wow, look at that, a little over 10 minutes. So, yeah, listen, I'm going to give my thoughts on everything in probably a separate video, but I at least just wanted to give you guys kind of a quick rundown and a highlight view of where each of the KvK groups stand, given that it appears that pretty much all of them are done and over with. So let me know if you are playing in any of these KvK groups. How do you feel? Again, has the season for the most part been fulfilling? Has it not been fulfilling? If it has been, what made it fulfilling? If it hasn't been fulfilling for you, why hasn't it been fulfilling? Let me know in the comments down below. That is going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I'll catch you later.